touch base with you guys and find out how things were going. We are actually in the second week of our current February is Beautiful group, and actually we're rounding out with just such awesome non-scale victories. So thank you for you guys that checked in with me over the weekend, and I just loved so much hearing how things are changing for you. And you guys know, if you've been with me for more than a second, that the things that are the most important to me on this health and wellness journey is that we are truly focusing on health and wellness from the inside out. Don't get me wrong. I think physical strength, endurance, all of those things, I mean, I work as a physical therapist. You guys know that. Those things are all really important to me. But the piece of the puzzle that I truly believe is critical and is so unique to what we do in our group and as a team is we focus on that mindset piece, and that piece that really allows us to connect those dots. I know we talk so much about the mind, body, spirit and how there's that connection with all of those pieces of the puzzle, and I 100% agree with that. But I truly believe if we don't spend the time really focusing on how we are addressing, different things like sugar addiction, or for me, how I'm addressing my emotional connection with food, and recognizing that knowledge is power, but that knowledge is power only if we use that knowledge. And all of these non-scale victories that I'm hearing in this last week about shirts that are fitting, that are more comfortable, and about being able to hold a plank after having some shoulder surgery, and about being able to understand that maybe whilst there's some healing and recovery from injuries and things like that that are going on, that you're understanding that it's a season, and that everything that you're learning is literally for the greater good and is truly helping you become the person that you were intended to be, just literally warms my heart. So thank you so much, as always, for allowing me to be able to be a part of your journey. And I'm so thankful and feel so blessed to be able to have you on this journey with me while I continue on my journey as well. The teamwork makes the dream work, as I always like to say. So tonight, I just wanted to take a second to talk about nutrition and really wrap our minds around what it is that we're nourishing our body. Like we had spoken about, my focus with health and wellness from the inside out, and taking time to really be intentional and learning how to take care of our hearts, take care of our minds, take care of our bodies, definitely holds true with that connection with nutrition. And so tonight, I wanted to definitely speak to the two nutrition programs that we have, because some of you are following what we call the 2B mindset, and some of you are following our Portion Fix program, which I'm excited to let you know. I actually just had an opportunity to have a conference call with Autumn Calabrese, who's the creator of the Ultimate Portion Fix container system for our nutrition. And I'm excited to say that it is evolving and growing into more and more and more, so that we can understand that emotional connection with food, so that we can understand what it looks like to be able to do nutrition as a lifestyle, and not just something that you follow for 21 days and, go back to your old habits. And so I'm excited that that relaunch is coming. That relaunch is actually becoming available to any coach, and that would be someone who is utilizing the coach for a discount coach or a preferred customer, or someone who is interested in really working with the business a little bit. So that is becoming available. Those additions are becoming available to the coaches starting the beginning of March, and then available to the general public and all of our clients and customers starting March 18th. So that's coming along. The 2B mindset, I'm super excited to let you know that I am just about to finish my master trainer for that program, which means I'm about to take a test. So if you guys could send me some prayers and good vibes, that would be awesome. And being able to really wrap my mind around that program has been really great as well. So let's take some time today to kind of separate the two, so that if you're following the 2B mindset, you really are feeling like you've got a handle on it and you are understanding how to progress yourself forward. And then let's spend some time talking about the Portion Fix program, so that you understand how to utilize that and how to maximize those little portion containers that those of you that are following the program understand. And then B, actually would be C, let's talk about how each of those programs really fits into what it is that we're doing. And I love the fact that we have the opportunity to really tailor nutrition for ourselves, because I truly believe that it is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It just is not. And so I love that we have the opportunity to go either direction. And I'll be honest, for me personally, I utilize bits and pieces of each of those programs to help me manage my nutrition. So let's start with 2B Mindset. 2B Mindset stands for Two Bunnies Mindset, and it is created by a woman by the name of Ileana, and she is a registered dietitian that works with Beachbody as well. And so the focus with 2B Mindset is that you follow the thought process of water first, veggies most. And so what that means is that your water consumption is always at the forefront of your mind. You start your day with 8 to 16 ounces of water, about 30 to 45 minutes before every meal. Ileana suggests starting with another 8 to 16 ounces of water. The thing I love about her thought process with water is it totally matches my professional opinion as well, in the fact that her suggestion, and this is actually my suggestion, as a minimum, you want to drink at least half of your body weight, and then instead of putting the pounds behind there, put ounces behind there, and you want that to be your minimum of water consumption. Why? Because water makes up over half of your body. It is vital for all of our functions, and it is so important for us to help boost our metabolism along. And I don't mean metabolism by just weight loss. That's not what I'm talking about at all, even though it is great for that. What I mean for that is for our body to actually function in the way that it was intended to function. To me, that's what metabolism means. Metabolism means that my body understands how to take the nutrients that I'm putting in it and utilize them for the activities that I need to accomplish for the day, and I need to do that in an efficient manner. And so for that reason, let's just use an example. I'm going to make math really easy on myself today. Let's just say I weigh 100 pounds. My minimum water consumption needs to be 50 ounces. And that really truly is a bare minimum. Why would you want to go above and beyond that? Reasons to go above and beyond that might be that you are a heavy sweater. And so maybe you're out in a climate where you are really, really perspiring, or maybe you're during your workouts, you are really, really heavy perspiring, then you do want to think about replenishing some of those extra fluids. Let's for example, talk about caffeine consumption. I'm totally fine with caffeine consumption. I think to each their own. It works great for some people. Other people have to be a little bit more mindful of it. But let's just use that for an example. If you are consuming some caffeine, that is a diuretic. And so in my opinion, it does work quite well for you to be able to follow up with the extra water in that situation as well. So that is kind of the first and foremost with the 2B Mindset: water first, and then veggies most. Veggies most, what her thought process of that is our vegetables are the bulk of what our nutrition is, because so many of us are deficient in that area. So many nutrients, you guys know this already, so many nutrients in our vegetables, and eating according to the rainbow, I think is super, super important to keep at the forefront of your mind too. Now, for me, I've actually taken that just a little bit further, and I've tried to incorporate veggies most in other areas of my life too. So what I mean by that is whenever I'm making my superfood shake, which will be the topic of another call that we talk about, is why Shakeology is Shakeology, and what is it all about, and why is it considered to be the superfood. But for example, for me, I like to get extra servings of vegetables in my superfood shake. And Kim, I think you just did this, and I'm super excited that that worked out for you. So examples, I like to put a serving of spinach in my superfood shake. Instead of ice, I like to put frozen riced cauliflower in my superfood shake. And so it's just another way for us to be able to actually slip those veggies in areas where we don't necessarily even recognize it. I like vegetables. I love some vegetables, but I like others. And so it's nice for me sometimes to be able to get those veggies into something that to me tastes like a decadent dessert. So for example, This literally is banana split. So it is chocolate Shakeology. It's 4 ounces of almond milk. It's almond cashew milk, riced cauliflower, spinach, and 1/4 of a frozen banana, and then the purple container of the portion fix, I have half filled with pineapple and strawberries. So that way it's 1 serving of fruit, and I've got 1 serving of vegetables, and I've got my antioxidants, my prebiotics, my probiotics, my digestive enzymes. There's no GMOs. It's just such great nutrient dense food, but it tastes like a banana split. So I love that thought process. And so with Veggies Most from To Be Mindset, it's really made me start to think outside the box into how can I get these vegetables into my diet that I know are so important and so vital for health. The other piece of that puzzle that I think is nice is it's really brought my attention to the forefront of it's not terribly difficult for that to actually happen. So it's allowed me to look outside the box and think about maybe where I can get an extra serving of vegetables in here or there to help supplement my body just from the inside out. So that's the main focus on To Be Mindset. To Be Mindset, though, for me, is a little bit harder to follow when it comes to the portion sizes, which is totally fine if you're not a portion person. I'm a portion person at heart. I always have been. What Ileana talks about is she talks about taking your plate and she talks about plating your food, which essentially means that in the morning, she talks about getting a portion of your plate from protein, a portion of your plate from fiber-filled carbohydrates. In the afternoon, she talks about a portion of your plate coming from fiber-filled carbohydrates, a portion of your plate coming from vegetables, and a portion of your plate coming from protein. At night, her belief system is that we do not need those fiber-filled carbohydrates in the evening as much because we're winding down for the evening. So she likes you to take your plate and divide it in half and talk about half of your plate coming from protein and half of your plate coming from vegetables. So I do like the timing and her thought processing with some of that. You and I can work with those things together individually, because I'll use myself for an example. When I'm an evening exerciser, I absolutely need to replenish with some carbohydrates. And that may or may not be the case for you. That's what I'm here for, ladies, is to help you figure that out. Because like I had mentioned, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Even if you identify more with To Be Mindset, it's still not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. And I feel like that's what's beautiful about our groups is we all work together, and I'm here to try to help you figure out what it seems like your body needs the most. So that's the To Be Mindset thought process. So there's no measuring, there's no portions. It's very, very much a thought process of this is how I want to wrap my mind around what carbohydrates do for me. This is what proteins do for me. This is what vegetables do for me, and water first, veggies most. So that's kind of just an overview. And if that's something that you are doing and you have more questions, please just raise your hand and let me know, or unmute yourself and let me know what kind of questions you have. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that in a group platform here, that's okay too. And you can absolutely reach out to me one-on-one and I can help you through some of those things. So let's move on to the Ultimate Portion Fix program, which are the little rainbow containers that if you have chosen to use this nutrition program that came with your pack. And so essentially, if you think about it, the green cup is for greens, the purple cup is for fruits, the red cup is for proteins, the yellow cup is for carbohydrates, fats, and then seeds and dressings. And the way this works is it's basically built in macronutrients. So when I say macronutrients, I'm talking about fats, carbohydrates, proteins. And what it is it takes into consideration what your current weight is, because that's going to make a difference on what type of start level we're looking at for basal metabolic rate. And then what it does, it takes into consideration how active you are, because again, that means you're going to burn some extra calories. And so we need to accommodate for that. And then it takes into consideration, are you looking to maintain your weight? Are you looking to gain some weight? Are you looking to lose some weight? And then according to those facts and figures, we're able to calculate a formula together that equals out how many of those cups you you get to have in your nutrition every day. So for me, I love this thought process because, again, like I said, I feel very, very comfortable in knowing where my macronutrients are, and that's just something that resonates with me. And so that's why I like to kind of marry these two programs together for myself. So it works out wonderfully for me. If I think about what I'm doing for the week, I like to get an idea of what our meals are going to look like in the for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, I like to think about what's Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday going to look like. And then that way I can kind of think about what I need to have from the grocery store. I can think about what my meals need to look like for the rest of the day. For example, this evening, Ryan and I are having taco salad. And so I know I'm going to get a veggie in there. I know I'm going to get a protein in there. I'm going to get a healthy fat because I'm going to use a little bit of guacamole and I'm going to use a little bit of shredded cheese. And then I know I'm going to get a carbohydrate in there because I'm either going to use a quinoa chip or I'm going to use like a sweet potato cauliflower sort of mash to go with it. So I already know that those macronutrients and that nutrition, that recipe is accounted for me for this evening. And so what I could do is just reverse engineer the rest of my day. So I knew, because my macronutrients I've calculated for myself according to these cups, right? I knew that for the rest of the day, I was allotted, or I could still have, 2 to 3 fruits. I could still have 2 to 3 more vegetable containers. I could still have 2 more carbohydrate containers. I could still have a nuts or a seeds and dressings container. And so it allowed me to be able to just sort of think about what I was going to have for lunch. And then I'll be honest, for myself, I was eating breakfast. And then for lunch, I was kind of eating on the fly. And so for me, I just knew, okay, this is what I'm planning on eating for this evening. I had this for breakfast this morning, and that means I've got an available amount of carbohydrates or proteins or what have you for lunch. So it allows me to really make it about what I can eat instead of what I can't eat. Because again, like I said, I believe so much in this mind-body connection, and what our mind believes and what we tell ourselves really truly does become a reality. Our body hears everything that we say to it, and it is imperative that we talk to it as if we would be talking to our best friend. And so as a person who is a recovering eating disorder individual, it really has been such a paradigm shift and has been so healthy and so welcoming for me to be able to think about all the things that I get to enjoy. So that is Ultimate Portion Fix in a nutshell. So it really just boils down to which one of those programs really speaks to your soul a little bit more, which one seems like it is a little bit more doable for you and for your lifestyle. And the thing to remember, and I mentioned that, I wanted to talk about how we kind of pull this all together, is really just to wrap our minds around the fact that we are looking for progress in the health and wellness department. We are not looking for perfection. Ladies, the moment I learned that perfection just literally does not exist and it's not supposed to exist on this earth, it was the most freeing thing for me, because I suddenly was not striving for this thing that just really was never going to be able to be attained. And it suddenly became being more about, oh my goodness, I have more energy. Oh my goodness, I sleep better at night. Oh my goodness, my skin is a little bit clearer than it was. Insert, why do I have adult acne? But it's things like that that really have allowed me to just embrace this health and wellness journey for all that it is. And instead of just trying to beat myself into submission, the mindset of just celebrating where I'm at, loving where I'm at. And that's why I really focus on the inside portion and the personal development that we've spoken about in the past, is because it is okay to love yourself exactly where you're at. In fact, it is imperative that you love yourself exactly where you're at so that you can continue to grow into the person you were created and destined to be. It's okay to love where you're at while you're still striving to become the best version of you. And so the nutrition piece of that really just goes hand in hand with that. And last but not least, just mentally thinking about the fact that how we feed our bodies is key. It is so key. There's so much research now that talks about our mental and our spiritual and our emotional health is so interconnected with what we have in our gut. And so our microbiome, or the chemistry of our body, is so imperative to be able to have good cognitive function, to be able to have the ability to really wrap ourselves in a good mental and emotional state. It's so important for sleep. It's so important for our ability to be able to just give to all the things that we love to give to, right? We're women, that's what we do. We're givers, and we pour into so many others. It's so important for us to make sure that we pour into ourselves too, so that we can be everything that we need to be for everyone else. And so that's why I'm just so thankful for each and every one of you, because I feel like this is such a safe space where we get to celebrate one another, and we get to talk about the hard things too, and we get to just continue to be women supporting women. And when really strong, supportive individuals come together, and that just happens in any space, it's really amazing to see all the beautifulness that evolves from that. But then whenever we start to bring in movement, and we start to bring in proper nutrition, and we fuel our bodies with things that are so nutrient dense, and things that are more from plants and from nature, and not fabricated so much in plants, right? And I just feel like whenever we have the ability to do that with the support system, and we focus on the improvements that we're making versus all the things that we're not, that's whenever true health and wellness really, really comes to fruition. So as you can tell, that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I'm just so thankful that each and every one of you are on this journey, or some of you I know are thinking about this journey as well, which I appreciate you even jumping in on this call and being a part of it, just to learn a little bit about what we do. So I know that our topic today, I don't want to take too much of your time. So I know our topic today was nutrition. So I'll keep it at that. I hope that this answers some questions. For those of you that are following To Be Mindset, you should be through several, at least 4 to 5 of your videos, so that you're wrapping your mind around the content. And then for the portion fix, you should be really getting a feel for what each of those containers means. What is a carbohydrate? What is a protein? What is a fat? And how those are fitting into your daily nutrition. And you should be at the point where you feel comfortable with the number of cups that you get. And when I say cups, you guys know I mean portion cups, right? I don't mean like actual cups. I mean how many fruits, how many fruit cups, and how many vegetable cups and containers. How many of those that you are able to nourish your body with in a day. So that's kind of where I would love to see you. Either A, you're making your decision as to which direction looks best for you, maybe developing a couple of questions, which are totally appropriate. The more questions, the better, because I think that means you're making educated and informed decisions, and that's critical. Or if you're already into this journey with me, you are understanding your To Be Mindset a little bit better, and you're following that water first, veggies most, and you've gotten through some of your videos. If you're following Ultimate Portion Fix, you understand what goes in your cups, you understand how many of those cups you get in a day, and you're really starting to just integrate either of those programs into your lifestyle. Thank you so very much for joining me this evening. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, and I look forward to chatting with each and every one of you very soon. Bye, ladies. Love you.